Here we have a whirlpool washer, WTW5000. Comes in DW1. The 4815 instead of 5000 does about the same thing. So here we have these two screws on the sides. If you want to take off the entire top panel, this is not necessary. We're just going to take off the screws that attaches to the panel that covers up the control board. This back harness cover is important to push down, angle back. It goes in the same way with just these two little vertical pieces of metal that slide in and out. This allows us to take this cover off. You know when you put it back on if it's correct, because you can read hot and cold. You might want to put it on this way, but then you'll see that the cold and hot are reversed and it just doesn't go. That's important for all of these back covers. They do about the same thing. So there is a piece of metal that you put a piece of putty or a putty knife up to, and it simply releases the pressure. Do it on both sides. All I'm doing is putting a putty knife in there, and you can see it press against the metal, which then allows me to slide it open so it's tilted back, and then you wiggle it more this way, which gives you a chance to do that. If you need to change the hot and cold, they're together in one piece. There's two screws that hold this together. It's the only thing that they are held together by is these two little screws, and the water just runs right down the middle. So change the motherboard, you take out these two screws, and you'll see that now you can pick it up and move it, because otherwise there's just a groove that it fits into. Hold back on the red, pull that up, hold back on the black, pull that up. This piece usually breaks, and it's broken. Usually breaks on me. Get that off. Use a pair of pliers. Take a photo of this before you get started. That way you can keep track of where all these little wires went to. That's just a retention piece of black plastic. Here, you squeeze and pull. Squeeze it with your thumb. The last time was index finger. And pull. This one, there's probably some form of trick to it, but usually just pulling on it works. And then this is the hose that detects the amount of water pressure that pushes air into that, and that's how it knows how full it is. This thumb pressure, pull up. This is the power to the water inlet. So this is completely disconnected now. I have another one. Here it is. Oh, forgot about the, oh, it just didn't go through. I don't know what that screw in the front does, because it pushed out the screw. I don't know what the screw does at this point, besides maybe just hold it. But here's the nub. Anywho, orientate it so that the hook that goes in there is on there. This is important to be into the button position. So this goes down, and then you reverse the process with the two screws that held this down. Yes, I use a drill, but go until it just stops. You do not want to be stripping out plastic or metal in this part. And there you go. Now you can work it a couple of different ways. I'm going to go with the more difficult ones first, because this red has to be turned to be put to where it faces this direction. This black comes across, guides in here, and then again has to be turned so that that faces that direction. It kind of just fits in here to just keep it out of the way. This again is your this and this, because it is moving. You have a whole lot of room. These two kind of look the same. The power to the inlet and this, which is everything else, they kind of look the same. As long as you know your power to your inlet's on the top left. This one's over there. I mean, there's a whole nother, like this one has 8, this one has 6, so you can't get it wrong, but you don't want to even try doing the wrong thing. Put that in there. This is your overall power. Man, it's so simple how they designed this thing, where it's just the 2 wires that lead to your plug. And that is it. You take this out by just rotating it, and it's just a square that gets in a groove and goes up. Put this black retention back. Put your hose, which again is what detects water pressure. A lot of the older ones have a completely different module for the water pressure. This one is the control board, which in this case is the reason why I'm changing this out. Shove that in there. That one's still good. And then this doesn't want to, it's whatever. My neighbor plays piano, if you can hear that. Okay, now these go in here. This goes in here. That just keeps them out of the way. I think I halfway succeeded on that. Okay, you have your control panel flipped. Again, it's a little bitty, not even 1/4-inch screw that it comes out. In this case, I'm going to put in a 1/4-inch screw and hope that it does something, but I couldn't even tell what it did there. What it accomplished, that is. Oh, this one doesn't have a button anymore. Huh. I'll have to get it off the old one. Reverse the process of what you did. Slide it down. Put your cover back on. Make sure you're not pinching off the wires there. The cover actually goes underneath. And then the securing is drilling a screw into the hard metal, not the plastic. One on each side. As I drop the screw. There's always more screws. Whatever, you get the idea on that. But then, this piece goes in to its grooves. To its 2 grooves. It holds part of this panel up as well, because it goes into both of these grooves. This bit's pushed down. Sorry. This gets pushed down, and then the screw gets put in there. And I'll get it off the floor in a little bit. And put a screw back in there, in the middle, and the screw in here. And we're done. Then you do your calibration.